What is going on, East Texas business owners? In this video, I'm going to show you how you're going to have the best month that you've ever had in business and how you're absolutely going to crush it in 2025. It's the only system that you need to scale your business to where you want to get to. And I call it the booked out blueprint. But if you're a service business struggling with inconsistent leads, overpriced marketing strategies, if you're relying on word of mouth, or you're just kind of feeling confused in marketing world in general, then this video is going to be for you. Most people are just guessing in business, and until you have some type of proven strategy or framework or some way you can track what you're doing, you're kind of just shooting in the dark. So what I'm going to show you is a proven system that brings in leads predictably without chasing Google rankings or competing on price. A system that actually builds a brand here in East Texas rather than just posting random static images to your social pages and hoping for the best. And I can tell you over 100 plus service businesses have used this strategy, including myself, and to dominate their local market and build a brand that people trust. So if you stick with me, I'm going to break it all down right here. Now, you can tell me if this sounds familiar, but what I hear a lot from business owners are things like, I need more leads, but I don't have time to figure out marketing. I've tried running ads, but they didn't really work for me. They brought in bad leads, or maybe you didn't know how to handle the leads. I post content every day, but nothing happens. Or I paid a marketing agency, but I have no clue what they're doing. You kind of get left in the dark. You don't understand the data or reports that they're sending you. If this sounds like you, then you're going to want to stick around and get out of this loop of just inconsistent lead flow where you have no control of where your leads are coming from in your business. So what you're going to learn in this video, I'm going to show you why you need to stop relying on Google, SEO, outdated strategies like Angie's List, Home Advisor, those types of things that I know you've probably tried to figure out, and what you should do instead. The other thing I'm going to show you is how one local ad can transform your Instagram into a lead machine. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to bring in predictable leads daily by becoming the most trusted brand in your city. So one of the main problems, though, that we run into is you don't have enough leads, or you don't know how to handle them. And without predictable lead flow and a system to handle them, you're just kind of hoping something comes through. You're just kind of relying on those referrals or wondering where your next job's going to come from. And every month starts at zero. And you can't really grow a business like that. We both know that. And the only way to flip this around is to run local ads in your city, to put your face, your brand, your business, your team, and your services in front of the people that are actively searching and looking for your service. And so we help build awareness with the right audience through these social platforms. So when somebody needs your service, the only name that they remember is the one they've seen on their feed every single day for the last 60 days. The other thing is you look the same as every other business online. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more, but everybody else in your niche is doing the same thing that you're doing. So we're giving you a way that's new and improved to get ahead and establish yourself and separate yourself from the pack, so you don't have to compete on price. You don't have to say that like Steve down there is doing it for $100 an hour. I'm going to do $90 an hour, provide more value, and that's really a race to the bottom. So we've cracked the code by combining short form video content with a simple local ad strategy that makes your business unignorable in your area. And just, some quick knowledge here that you probably felt as a business owner, but you couldn't pinpoint. Customers are buying and doing business differently than they have ever before, just because there's so many ways for somebody to reach out to a business. The businesses that capitalize on DMing and texting customers are going to rock and roll this year. So nobody wants to be cold called. They want everything to be in text. They're on their phones, they're scrolling Instagram and Facebook, and if you've ever ran messaging ads like on Facebook or something, you know that they work better than like a lead form or on your website form. We're not running messaging ads here, essentially, but they do work better just because people like to be text. And so let's get right into how to get this thing done and why we need to stop relying on these old school marketing tactics like Google, SEO, Home Advisor, Angie's List, all that good stuff. First and foremost, if you are doing SEO, I think it's great for bigger businesses, competing with bigger businesses, and for long term in your business. It's not the way to immediately get leads. And why should you listen to me? Well, I worked for a big agency in the past, and I know how it works. I used to offer all these services. The Instagram follower funnel is definitely the way to go as far as ROI. It's the cheapest ROI you can get from an ad strategy. Quickly talk about like Google in general, not Google Ads, but like just let's say Google Business Profile. Should you have one? Absolutely. Should you be getting reviews? Absolutely. Should you be competing in this space with every other business like yours? Absolutely not. And let's just do a quick little example. Let's type in, I already did one here, pool install in Tyler, Texas. So there's so much business in East Texas. And every vertical, every niche, every type of business is going to have competition like this, right? And so who do you think's getting the call throughout these businesses? You think it's anybody down here? And what do you think these guys have to do to get more calls from Google? You got to play the Google game. You got to get more reviews. You got to update your profile. You got to do local SEO. And that stuff costs money and takes a long time. And so instead, let's compete where these guys are not. Let's go to the top dude on Google. He has a Facebook and Google, no Instagram. We will crush him. Let's go to this guy. He's got an old school website. He's got just a Facebook. Let's go one more down here. Somebody's got to have an Instagram. All right, let's do this one. He's got an IG. Let's go take a look at it. And this is why we are pushing for it, because this guy, he's posted 251 times. So he knows that he should be active on social media, but there's no strategy. We're just posting whatever, we think that looks good. And most of the people, are doing static images like these. You go to Canva and you make your static images, and all your businesses are doing like this. And we all know that this is not bringing in business, and this is why we focused on Instagram, specifically video content. And this is why we don't rely on Google, because nobody is playing this game right. So let's hop back into our presentation. Get over here. What we do instead of playing the Google game is we build brand in the local area, because brand building adds fuel to the fire. When you're just starting off in this type of strategy, the focus should be cash flow and leads, not like a pretty website or a pretty Instagram or content that doesn't convert like static images. So what we're doing is building a 24/7 lead machine, essentially. We are making strategic content for your ideal fit clients. We have an optimized Instagram that acts as basically a digital sales rep in a way. And then we have clear messaging that builds brand authority in Tyler, Texas, and East Texas. Once we do that, we amplify it with one local ad. And one local ad will magnify your reach instead of hitting a percentage, just like this little visual here. When you post, you're only hitting your followers and only a percentage of your followers. You don't even hit your entire followers. When you post a local ad, you amplify this reach, and you get to talk to hundreds, if not thousands of people, reach 100 or thousands of people daily. So instead of hitting that amount of people, monthly when you're trying to post these static images, you're hitting these people daily. And basically what I call that is like your virtual handshake. So you get to shake a lot of hands without having to be present when you run a local ad. You are just introducing yourself to people. Basically, when they engage, I treat that as that like them leaning forward to the handshake, and it's up to us to make the handshake and introduce yourself, and that's what we do with local ads and content. So moving on, how are you going to use one local ad to dominate here in East Texas? So imagine if you have one video running as a local ad set up correctly, and you got to set these things up correctly for them to work 24/7 to a local audience. And imagine having a system that allows you to track every single lead and tracks your follow-up and gives you a predictable way to get leads, allowing you to pick and choose who you want to work with. That's a complete reversal of relying on word of mouth and just hoping that business comes through the door and accepting whatever you have to, right? Most people don't realize how powerful one good ad could be. And we're not talking about just running cold traffic to a homepage of a website or something like that. We build a single ad that introduces you, your story, and why your service matters, and then you're going to want to show it to people in your target area. Every time they scroll, you're there. Just like you've probably seen my face in your feed a handful of times, we do the same thing for your business, and that's what you want to do with this logo ad, is show up in people's faces every single day. And because your ad is paired with a profile of helpful strategic content, your new followers and people who engage with your profile aren't just watching, they're engaging, and they're reaching out. And I kind of compare this to, let me move my face over here. I kind of compare this to Amazon reviews, right? So anytime you purchase something off Amazon, you're going to go look at the reviews first. You're going to see how people's experience has been. You're going to see kind of who you're buying from. Well, this is what we're doing with video content, and this strategy, especially the local ad, is when somebody sees this ad, they're going to come to your profile. They're going to check out what you're doing, your stories, your highlights, your latest posts. And if they come to a profile that looks like this, that doesn't tell them anything. They don't know who they're working with. So your local ad paired with strategic content with your face, and they know who's showing up at their door to come work with them, and then you've got some content with happy customers on your profile. That's what we're doing with the Booked Out Blueprint. All right. So we're going to stop relying on these old school tactics. You are going to get this one local ad to blanket East Texas with your brand. What are we going to do next? Predictable lead flow without cold outreach, which I love. These people are warm once they get to us, right? This isn't just theory. It's what we do every single day for our clients and help our clients do. And this is what I personally do every single day and how you are watching this video most likely. So when people already know, like, and trust you before the first message is sent, before you reach out, sales becomes pretty easy. So we create brand trust with video content. You're going to want to use ads to build awareness and attract your local followers. And then you're going to want to use some type of DM setting strategy, some type of sales strategy in the DMs to turn these conversations into book calls and appointments. And that is essentially how you're building your predictable lead flow. Is we're taking these engaged people from Instagram daily, we are messaging them, and we are turning them into phone calls, booked appointments, and closed deals. And quick funnel for you to look at here is we've got these local people. They're going to watch our ad. They're going to come to our page and trust our brand. And then we're going to DM, reach out, and close deals. So basically, before I recap, if you made it this far, I want to give you some free value. So feel free to message me on Instagram is where I spend my most time, or if you want to comment below this video. I'll personally review your page and help you understand kind of why people might not be reaching out and optimize that profile for lead generation and point you in the right direction. Because at the end of the day, helping you guys win is the only way that I win. So quick recap of this video and how you're going to crush it using the Booked Out Blueprint method. We're going to stop relying on outdated marketing that isn't working, like Google SEO. You're not going to compete with these guys anymore because nobody's building a brand on Instagram in 2025 here in East Texas. You're going to create one local ad that makes your business impossible to ignore, where you're showing up in people's faces every single day. And you're going to turn profile visits into conversations and into book business. And that's how we're going to crush it in 2025. And the business, I put here, don't wait until your competitors figure this out first. Let's build your brand into the trusted leader in your market, because the businesses that find this strategy here locally are going to be the ones who crush it in the next year or two. You're going to have people that kind of catch on, maybe copycat, but whoever gets on this first is absolutely going to crush it using the follower funnel. So, and if you're ready to implement something like this for your business and you want to absolutely crush it right now in 2025, I do this for clients every single day, and I walk clients through how to implement this system every single day. Click the link below and we can have a 5 to 10 minute conversation on how we can implement this in your business. We'll get to know each other, and if it's a good fit, we can rock and roll. If not, I will happily point you in the right direction and see if I can help you in one way or another. Cool. I look forward to talking with y'all and seeing you crush it in 2025 using the Booked Out Blueprint.